Okay, let's continue the marketing research. Okay, for this lesson 2. Okay, so marketing research is the systematic design, collection, analysis, and reporting of data relevant to a specific marketing situation facing an organization. Okay, so it's a collection of the data. Okay, mainly the collection of the data. So developing a marketing information. Okay, so memorize this one. This one is quite is come out in the past year exam, so you can you can memorize this. Yeah? Steps in the marketing research process. Okay, so the first step is defining the problems and research objective. Okay, then developing the research plan for collecting okay information, and then next one, implementing the research plan, collecting and analyzing the data. Okay, then after that, interpreting and reporting the findings. Okay, so let's come further, okay, to understand. So classification of a marketing research. Okay, problems identification research. Okay, so the classification of the marketing research consists of two lah. One is problem identification research. Okay, so another one is problem solving research. Okay, so what is the difference? Have a look. So research undertaken to help identify problems which are not necessarily apparent on the surface and yet exist or are likely to arise in the future. Example, market potential, market share, image, market characteristic, sales analysis, forecasting, and the trend research. Okay, so you identify uh, those problems that are available in the marketplace. Okay, and they are likely to exist. Okay, so you can identify the from problem you can identify the opportunities. Then another one is problem solving research. Okay, so you're doing the research is for problem solving. Okay, research undertaken to help solve specific marketing problems. Okay, example, segmentation, product pricing, okay, promotion and distribution research. So the so they mainly do marketing research is for these two, okay, for these two purpose. Okay, a classification of marketing research. Okay, so marketing research consists of the, just now we mentioned, problem identification research, okay, and the problem solving research. Okay, so it's just actually the same thing, but we make it into the diagram. It's more clearer. Okay, okay, it's the same thing actually. It already explained at the above slide. Okay, so the research, now we come to the research design. Okay, so the definition, a research design is a framework of blueprints for conducting the marketing research project. It details the procedures necessary for obtaining the information needed to structure or solve the marketing research problems. Okay, so the research you need to design that so you can conduct the project. Okay, so the design is to have a framework. Okay, so that you can proceed with the research project. So continue the research design. Okay, so research design consists of two major categories, which is exploratory research design and the conclusive research design. Okay, so under the conclusive research design, they have Of course, they have a subtopic there lah. So if you're interested, you can further go and look for it in the reference. So we just focus on the basically when come to research design, there will be two big major category. So it's explore, okay, rhetoric, and conclusive, okay. So basically the two kind of research design, okay. So let us come to the start with the exploratory, okay. So the objective is to provide the insight and understanding, okay. So what's the characteristic? The characteristic is information needed is defined only loosely, okay. Research process is flexible and unstructured, simple, okay. Sample is small and non-representative. Analysis of primary data is qualitative, okay. Qualitative. So what is qualitative? Qualitative, it means that the characteristic is not number, okay. It's like a contents, okay. It's some kind of contents, okay. So is the data you obtain is to you need to audit the quality, okay. You can more on the quality side, okay. Look at the quality side rather than just number, okay, or volume, okay. So the findings and result is tentative, okay. Tentative means that you still can have further exploration or further you just the data is tentative, okay. It's not really confirmed, okay. So you can still have a room to further research, okay. So you can go further for the conclusive research, okay. So the outcomes of the exploratory research is generally followed by further exploratory or conclusive research. That means I still have a room to do further research to have a confirmation, okay. So this is exploratory, okay. So what is conclusive? Okay, conclusive. So we move to the next column. The conclusive one is to test a specific hypothesis and examine the relationship, okay. So the characteristic is information needed is clearly defined and research process formal and structured, okay. Sample is large and representative. Data analysis is quantitative. That means you're looking for a number, okay, of the data, okay. It's like now there's a popular words talk about the big data, okay. So we're collecting the big data samples, okay, and do the analysis. So the findings and result will be conclusive, okay. So it will be very clear, conclusive, okay. Mean that you will get the very clear result and outcomes, okay, out of the big data, a large sample of the data. The outcomes will be findings used as an input into decision making. So they use those big data, the big sample, a large number of the data to make the decision of the on marketing side, okay. And so let's continue. Now we come to the primary versus secondary data. So what is the difference between the primary and secondary data? Okay, primary data, basically the layman term, you just say that is immediate data, okay. Immediate data, the data that immediate available, okay. So it's a direct data, first hand data, something like that, okay. So we define it as the definition are originated. Primary data are originated by a researcher for a specific purpose of addressing the problems at hand, okay. The collection of the primary data involves all steps of the marketing research process, okay. The second slide, marketing research process, okay. Then the secondary data means that is in layman term will be like is we call it second-hand data, second-hand information. So they are not immediate information. They are not the information um, is a first hand. Okay, so in the layman term, for your understanding, we say the second hand information or the information, the data from the third party. Okay, so for the definition, secondary data are data that have already been collected for purposes other than the problems at hand. Okay, this data can be located quickly and inexpensively. Okay, so why they are not expensive? Because they are already available in the past. Okay, so they are the second-hand data. They are already available as a reference in the marketplace. So let's continue to see the difference. So primary data and the secondary data, what's the difference? So um, primary data is for the problem at hand. So in order to solve the problem uh, that you face currently, immediately. So secondary data is for other problems. Okay, so the problem may not be so urgent, may not be immediate. So the collection process, primary data is very involved. Okay, so you are involving in collecting those data. Okay, so for example, you want to know the price of the houses in certain suburb. Okay, so for example, the transaction price at the Damansara. Okay, for example, so the data in your hands, you know what's transacted recently. Okay, before the data submitted to the land office. Okay, so that means you know the immediate transaction, the latest transaction that you already enhance. So that's why it is very involved. It's the data that you have it um, enhanced. Okay, so first hand information. So secondary data is data from the maybe for already submit to the land office, updated in the land office. So it's secondary data. Okay, secondary data. So it's easy to get the data, rapid and easy, because you just get from the land office, or no, I think it's from the uh, Jabatan Penilaian. Okay, you get the data from there. Okay, so or from they come out with the publication. Okay, publication, yearly publication, so you can get the information of the price range, from what price to what price, the transaction in the this suburb Damansara. Okay, so basically it's the second hand information, make it simple. Okay, then the collection cost. Okay, primary data is a high cost because you need to collect the data by yourself. Okay, so you are highly involved. Okay, it may be costly. Okay, you will need to check out the you need to go and check out by yourself. Okay, then for the secondary data, maybe already available in your office, the publication of uh, the 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 value and the price of transaction. Maybe you get from the Jabatan Penilaian, or from online. Okay, the information online. Okay, so the cost will be lower, because it's already available. Okay, so it's not like you need to go and find out by yourself. Okay, so it's more involved and then more costly. Okay, if you want to get the latest information. All right, and properly, if let's say you want to get the latest transaction, then you might call out some of your contact. Okay, you need to call them, call those real estate agent. They are highly active in the Damansara, then to get the latest transaction. Or maybe you call up some of the lawyer firm to check out what's on any latest transaction. Or maybe you can check out with some of the bankers. Okay, but many bankers, they get the data also from the valuer, but the valuer normally update their the valuation, the value, and the transaction is normally also get from the Jabatan Penilaian. So the data is already more than 6 months. Okay, so you will call it a secondary data already. It's not the primary data. Okay, so primary data we talk about the latest transaction. Okay, so the collection time. So collection time, primary data may be long. Okay, because why long? Because you take more work. Okay, more time to get all these data. Because if let's say you need to check out the things, and you need to call different parties to check out where's the transaction. Okay, so is take more time. Okay, it take more effort. But the secondary data, they are available, already updated. Maybe 6 months ago they are already available. Okay, so primary data and secondary data. Okay, so secondary data is easier to get lah, easier to get even if you realize some of the transaction that in the past I asked them how do you collect the transaction price, latest those transaction price in the, if you're farming. Okay, you are doing a sales for certain tamam, you can focus on the certain tamam to do the sales of a property. Okay, you need to get some transaction price, right? So some of them they say they just buy the data. Okay, they just buy the data from the some of the I think some of the information center lah. They supply those transaction value. They supply even some they have the landowner contacts and landowner name. They supply those data, but those data actually quite a lot of them already outdated lah, outdated data. Okay, so it's a secondary data. All right, then the next one, a classification of a secondary data. So for secondary data, so you can look at the diagram here. There will be internal data, external data, right? So okay, so internal data is ready to use, require further processing. So external data like published material, just like I mentioned. Okay, so some of the database, or maybe the data from the online, or from some of the maybe syndicated services. Okay, external data, so some information center, they are some of the syndicated services. Okay, they offer to sell the data to you. Okay, and further up. Okay, so qualitative and quantitative research. Okay, so important words is qualitative and quantitative. So as long as you understand these two, then will be easy lah. Okay, so qualitative is what? Objective is to gain a qualitative understanding of the underlying reason and motivation. Okay, so sample is small number of a non-representative cases. Okay, data collection is unstructured. Okay, data analysis non-statistical. Okay, so outcome develop an initial understanding. So I just summarize it that qualitative is something like is a small number, non-representative kind of cases. Okay, so when they do the qualitative research, maybe when they collect the data, when they ask question, also is like it's an open-ended question. Like what do you think about, what do you think about the houses houses in for example Montiala. Okay, what do you think about houses in Montiala? So when we collect the data, the data may not consist of number. It's just a contents. Okay, so from there you will do the qualitative research. Okay, you will analyze it. Okay, so it's not structure. Okay, the data collection is not structure. Okay, so in contrary, okay, the quantitative is what? Quantitative is to quantify the data, generalize the result from the sample to the population of interest. Okay, so large number of representative cases. Okay, so we collect a large number of the representative cases, and then the data collection is more structured. Okay, it could be a number. Okay, number, and could be a could be counted. Okay, so for qualitative may not be cannot be counted. Maybe you need to analyze it through other way. Okay, so uh, for quantitative it can be counted. Okay, then it can make into a statistic. Okay, so when come to data analysis, okay, so quantitative can be, okay, can be made into diagram, made into statistic. Okay, for the outcomes, for quantitative is recommends a final course of action. Okay, it can recommend a final course of action. Okay, so it's different from the qualitative. Qualitative, you do the research is for the understanding purpose. Okay, but for quantitative is to come up with a final outcomes. Okay, for them to make decision. All right. So this is the differences lah between the qualitative and the quantitative. All right. Okay. So maybe I give an example for qualitative. Just now I already say when you ask a open-ended question, then what is the opinion, okay, of the houses, something like that. So the one feedback to you, the data will like they are giving opinion, okay, they are giving opinion, okay. Then quantitative research kind of data, like for example, okay, how many like is a maybe you have a when you ask a question, then you have a choice, okay. So the choice is certain. For example, you ask the customer, you do a survey to a customer in the suburb there. So you ask, okay, how many family member in your house? Okay, so okay, A, two two member and below. B, 3 to 4. Okay, C, above 4, something like that. So you have A B C D, and the fixed answer. So from there you can actually can make a statistic, okay, out of the research. Okay, so but for qualitative you cannot do a statistic. Okay, so this is a big difference. Okay, so their major difference is like that. All right. So okay, then come to next, a classification of the qualitative research procedure, right? So qualitative research procedure, so it will be dialect, non-discuss, okay, and dialect, discuss, okay. This is the okay for the qualitative research procedures lah. So dialect one is focus group, okay, depth interview, okay. So all this you just if you interested you can go further lah, but I won't go into the details because it's not the very important one. But as long as you know there's a qualitative research, okay, and the quantitative research, okay. So if a procedure, okay, we won't go into the deep details of it lah, okay. So maybe you can memorize the diagram, but I think this is not so key lah. If you come to if really come out in the past year, I think it's not so key lah to answer. You no need to go into the details lah. Okay, so basically there's some techniques under the okay in dialect kind of screens, okay, projective techniques, all these, okay. So all these techniques I won't go into the details lah, okay. But if you're interested, you can go further to the reference, okay. So a classification of survey methods, okay, survey methods. So of course when you do the marketing research, you need to come up with a survey, right? So the survey got few kind of methods, okay. So it's quite common, okay. So for example, you get a listing, right? Then you need to survey, okay, whether the listing, the price, okay, the property price that you receive you get from the customer, is it expensive or is it cheap? Okay, so that's why you need to survey, right? So it's quite practical if you put in the property industry. Okay, when the survey methods, quite common one is what, telephone. You call your call other agent or call the customer, stay around that daman, okay, to check out what is the average price, or call up your friends, or call up your contacts, or call up some of the banker, okay, to know what is the valuation. Okay, so telephone is one of the way to survey. Then another one, personal, okay, personal survey, okay, of very common. Go to coffee shop and talk to your those interest group, okay, those target group, okay, to check out the price. Okay, so and the survey can through mail. Okay, mail I think is already outdated lah, maybe email like that. So electronic, okay, like electronic, common email, internet now, what's electronic, okay, WhatsApp. Okay, so to check out to do the survey, okay, survey of the pricing, okay, or the transaction. Okay, so right, and then the next, so developing the marketing information. Okay, so developing the marketing information. Okay, strength and weaknesses of contact methods. Okay, so what's their strength and weakness for each of the, okay, of the methods. Okay, the survey methods. So mail, okay, and telephone, personal, online. Okay, so all these you can go through lah. Then what's their flexibility? Okay, quantity of the data collected. Okay, and of course when you face to face, you are easy to collect more. Okay, so telephone still okay, but sometimes people don't want to talk too long in the telephone, then you just collect okay, the fare number of the data. Okay, so online, of course, online you can spend more time to collect more data from online. Okay, so there will be good quantity of the data. Okay, a large quantity of data you can collect it from online. Okay, control interviewers effect, control of sample, speed of the data collection. Okay, response rate, cost. Okay, so this one just for reference. So it's not so important, but I think mainly for the understanding. Okay, then the next one, developing market information, market research, contact methods. Okay, so focus group, okay, 6 to 10 people, trend moderator, okay, challenges, expensive, difficult to generalize from small group, consumer not always open and honest. Yeah, so sometimes you survey, you also come across. Okay, okay, you might you may use a focus group lah, but 6 to 10 people, so the data information to produce a accurate outcome is limited lah. It's limited. Sometimes it's 6 to 10 people, not always people honest to answer openly and honestly. Okay, and next one, a classification of observation method. Okay, so observation method, okay, consists of personal observation. So personally observation, I just give a example. Example, personal observation. We last time we actually did when I during the uni time, the lecturer asked us to do a observation, personal observation method. That means they want to do a survey of a traffic flows. Okay, traffic flows of the certain street. Okay, certain street. So they ask us to stand at the T junction of the street and then start to counting the car, something like that. How many car pass by this street, something like that. Okay, so this is the personal observation. So counting the traffic flow. Okay, so it's one of the way lah. Personal observation. Another one is mechanical observation. I think this one more for the factory lah. Like they want to testing the using the engineering method to testing the material or the quality, testing the material of certain products, something like that. Okay, so using the scientific way to testing, okay, and observe. Okay, so this one I think more uh, for the other product. Okay, then instead of property and audit. Okay, audit. So once you collect the data, then you need to audit lah. Why the need to do the audit analysis? Okay, why is it like that? Okay, so for example, when you uh, calculate the traffic flow uh, for Monday, okay, maybe it's certain volume. Suddenly, come to weekend, there's a lot of volume. So then you need to audit the accuracy based on, oh, okay, uh, let's say you want to get the average, then maybe you will not choose to weekend, okay, to calculate the traffic flows. You want to get the highest number of data and then the lowest number of data and then the average number of data to be somewhere in the middle. Okay, so the audit is helping you to check out what's the reason behind it. Suddenly the data increase a lot. Okay, the traffic flow increase a lot. What's the reason behind? Oh yes, then you when you do the audit analysis, then you understand, oh, is because the weekend a lot of people free, so they drive out, and then they're driving out, and then that's why the traffic flow suddenly increase. Okay, so this is the audit analysis to understand what's the reason behind, okay, for certain data collected. Okay, okay, why certain data is why certain days they are less, or maybe they are working, something like that. Okay, maybe weekday they are working, so that's why the traffic flows is getting lower. Okay, so this is the audit analysis that to understand what's the reason behind of the data number collected. It's just for example to do the audit. And then audit analysis also help to identify the some of the data is whether it's accurate or not. Okay, to do some comparison, to do some analyze whether the data collected is accurate, or is it there's any uh, maybe a loophole that to make it become like not accurate. So the audit analysis help you to identify whether the data, the way that they collect, or maybe the number they collect is accurate, or maybe there's another I mean is there is bias. Okay, another got some errors, behind. So need to do some audit analysis to make sure the data is accurate and is proper. And content analysis means like when you get the data, then some of data they are not number. Okay, maybe some of data they are like opinion. Okay, so from the opinion, then the content, from the content there you do the analysis. Okay, do the analysis on the opinion voiced out by the uh, by those people that you survey. Okay, for example, okay, you ask what's your opinion about Damansala, then um, the people or maybe voice out their opinion like, oh, Damansala very hard to find parking, very expensive, okay, to stay there, or something like that. Or then from there you understand, okay, then their expectation. Okay, so their expectation of the property they desire is need to have more parking. Okay, so when you do analysis, then you will understand their needs. Okay, their need is, oh, actually they complain about there's less parking space there, so actually they want more parking. So you do the analysis, okay, on their the contents they voice out. Okay, so from the content you understand their needs. Okay, this is the content analysis. All right, then the next one is a trace analysis. So trace analysis is to understand the part, their the behavior. Okay, the behavior of the those been surveyed. Okay, or maybe to identify of some of the trend, or the part the behavior of the market. Okay, okay, the market or the focus group that been surveyed. Okay, so for example, I think trace for this trace analysis, So maybe okay, maybe it's like that. Okay, so you when the developer want to they have a land bank. Okay, they don't know what kind of what type of property they want to build there lah. So they go and check out with they do a survey there. So they do a survey there, they check with uh, the people working around that location, and then they will check, okay, how many family member in your house, something like that. Okay, so so they might voice out, oh, okay, um we have a total my family member about three. Okay, some maybe say four, and some maybe say two people. So you realize that the after that you from that outcome of the data, then you identify the you trace out the uh, the 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 behavior, okay, the culture, okay, or the so-called the family size, family size. Okay, from there you the developer identify that, oh, okay, they should build uh, more numbers of the studio unit, or maybe two rooms unit. Okay, instead of three room or four room unit, because their their family size is small. Okay, their family size is small. So you from the survey, then you from there you identify and you trace out. Okay, okay, trace out their 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 needs, their needs. Okay, or maybe you also can understand, oh, okay, from the survey, maybe there's a more family member. Okay, or more couples. Okay, so you can uh, understand they are young couples. Okay, and they are small family, and they have young children. Then you know their needs, and then you will build up some of the facilities that to meet their needs. Okay, the development come with the facility to cater for the children and to the young couples. Okay, so it will be more attractive to them lah. Okay, when you market the project, then will be easier. Okay, so this is a trace analysis. Okay, identify identify their behavior, past, and their culture, and uh, their the trend, the trend. And next one, developing marketing information. Okay, so marketing research sampling plan. Okay, sample is a segment of the population selected for marketing research to represent, okay, the population as a whole. So when you come to the sampling, okay, I mean is a segment of population selected. Okay, so you will study, okay, who is to be studied. Okay, so how many people should be studied, and this is a question that who and how many. Okay, and then third one, how should the people be chosen. Okay, so what kind of group you are chosen. Okay, for example, if the development land near the government offices. Okay, so for example, Putrajaya, okay, the developer have a land bank at Putrajaya, so they will focus maybe mainly on the those government servant. What is their there will be be a focus group of the just focus the target the government servants or government officer as their study. Okay, as their study and the survey. And and what kind of departments of or government departments over there, then you will select the group. Okay, and how many number that you want to go and survey. So these are things that to consider lah when come to the market research sampling plan. Okay, so next one, okay, type of sample. So here I think I just go through fast lah. So it's not, it's just for understanding lah. I think not so important, but anyway, you just know that there will be a simple random sample, stratified random sample, cluster sample. I think cluster sample is easy for you to understand. So now COVID season, then people talk about, oh, there's a family cluster, they can kena COVID, or maybe there's a factory cluster, or the working place cluster. So the cluster sample is actually something like that lah. Okay, the cluster sample. Okay, so non probability samples, convenience samples, judgment sample, quota sample. So this one they have all the definition. So I won't go into deep details lah. But anyway, if you want for understanding, you can just go through by yourself. I think this one not so important. And the next one, okay, marketing research research instrument. Okay, marketing research instrument questionnaire. So questionnaire is quite common that we use to collect the data. So when come to the developing the marketing information, so it's a most common way. So administer in person, by phone, or online. Okay, we'll come to questionnaire. I think some of you, if you study uni time, I think you also have conduct some of the questionnaire, right? To when you come to do some of the thesis or some of the project. Okay, so flexible. Okay, questionnaire is flexible. Research must be careful with wording and ordering of question. Okay, with wording or ordering of question. So this what kind of question you need to ask and to draft out. Okay, for the purpose for you to collect the data. And the next one, marketing research instrument. Okay, so the questionnaire got two type of question that you can ask. One is close-ended question, include all possible answers and subject, make choice among them, provide answer that they are easier to interpret and tabulate. Okay, so close-ended question. Okay, close-ended question, so the answer that they are easy to choose. Okay, so maybe close-ended. Okay, the answer will be yes or no, or maybe A, you can choose the answer A, or B, or C, something like that. Okay, so it's easy for when you come to the close-ended question, they're easy to answer, easy to make a choice. Okay, so the other is then the different one will be open-ended lah. So the opposite one, open-ended question, allow respondent to answer in their own words. That means they can voice out the opinion, just like what I say lah. So if you come up with the open-ended question, they will come with the open answer. Okay, they will answer with their own opinion. So that's why you need to do a content analysis. So because maybe you'll get 100 people, they get 100 different opinion. Okay, so they have the contents there, they might have 100 different opinion. So it might taxing to tabulate, okay, or interpreting the data. Okay, so anyway, open-ended question is useful in the exploratory research. Exploratory research means that to get understanding. Okay, to get is an initial stage when you want to get to understand the information more. So when you are doing the open-ended question. Okay, so if you want to use it for the decision making, come to the marketing information, then properly close-ended question, okay, questionnaire will be more useful lah. All right, so you go further, then you will draft out the open-ended question to do the survey. And the next one, developing market information. So marketing research, okay, implementing the research plan. Okay, so this is the step okay, implementing the research plan, collecting the information, processing the information, okay, then analyzing the information, then interpret findings and draw conclusion and report to the management. So after you do a research, the main thing is just make the information organized and then report to the management. Okay, so I think that's all for the developing the marketing information. Okay, marketing research. All right. Okay, there will be past year question. Okay, so you can have a look, and it's come with the answer guideline. All right. So basically, yeah, important one lah, the marketing. Uh, okay, the marketing research. Okay, marketing research process. Okay, that's all. Thank you.